Hello everyone, this is part 6 of our collage making tips and techniques. I already finished the first section, which is this. I did it with the other class, and now I'm going to work on the second section. As you can see, I already started gluing some things because I used part of the paper for one side and part of it with the other. For me, I think it's a good idea because it helps me cover this, the little ends, and I always have such a hard time with the ends. So now I've laid out all my work, all of the things I'm gonna use. I took a picture of my design, which is this, and yes, yesterday I had not covered the background, so I figured I would do it just to save us some time. And I like to cover, put like one layer of paper, whether it's one colored paper or textured paper or book paper, because for me it's easier. Let's say that I have a gap, it's already covered with something, and so I always try to put right here. I'm not, because I'm gonna put a big paper in the middle. So I already covered that part, and then it's all about layering. What goes first, what goes next. And so if I look at my picture, I've already layered everything that I want to. I just need to put in my music sheet note paper in the middle here. That's why I didn't cover the other one, because I'm gonna use this. And I also need to put on top of that, I'm gonna put the purple. I wanted to add some purple. Remember, it's important when you are gluing to glue with a different paper, because if you glue it directly on your work, it's gonna make a mess, and you don't want that. So I'm gonna glue it in the middle. Remember what I've said in the past, use a paper and press, because your fingers are dirty, you're gonna rip it, something's gonna happen. You need something clean on top to help you maintain the paper and also keep it clean. Okay, make sure that you press down. My next step was to add the purple, and if I look at my picture, I kind of messed up a little bit because I wanted the magazine to show. So I'm gonna see if I could lift it up a little bit. If not, I wasn't thinking about this. No, it's, oh no, okay. So you could lift it a little bit. I wanted the magazine to show, and I wanted to glue it underneath. See, you need to make sure that when you're layering, you know exactly what you're layering first. Then, but luckily sometimes with glue sticks, they don't really stick that well, so you can undo it. And this construction paper is a lot thicker than the other one, so you need to make sure that you press down even harder so it actually glues. Okay, so there I have this. Then I have another section of my purple paper. I think I used the wrong side actually, but it's okay. I'm gonna do this and add some there. Right in the middle. Press down. You can always re-glue things. Now I found this in a magazine. I thought it was really cool. The Mario one, the Nintendo. That was the first game I ever played, and that was the last game I ever played until recently. So I want it to be the same direction as this. I'm going to put it this way, because remember, when you're making collages, they don't need to be the same side, the same direction. You could lift them and curve them and put them diagonal. And I'm looking at my pictures. Then I'm going to add my strip of the Mario Barbie dress that I bought, and I kept the box because it has a line. I'm gonna put it here all the way in the corner, so it looks better. Otherwise it's gonna look weird with a straight line. It's gonna look like it's floating. And then I'm going to attach this one and run it all the way down. Again, this paper is a lot thicker than the other paper. You might have to add even more glue and press even harder. I want to pretend, and see the way I cut it, it's perfect. I want to pretend that they're one and they're stuck together. Sometimes when you have something heavy like that, you might need something stronger to press to make sure that it's actually gluing, because it might not. Or you might need to hold it down a bit until it actually glues. Then I have the other side. And I want to put it on this side. Somewhere here. This glue stick is so messy. It's like falling apart. Okay. I'm looking at my picture. I'm gonna glue it here. Then I want to add, I'm just gonna clean it, hold on. My Pikachu at the bottom. Here, because look, there's a line. So if I put him just randomly, it's gonna, I hate these lines. Like, they bother me, so I'm gonna put it all the way at the bottom. So I feel like if I put it at the bottom where there's already a line there, it makes it more stable. It doesn't look like it's floating. You ground it. It's grounded by something. It's not just up in the air. Then I'm going to add my phrase that I found from the magazine, and I was going to use in my other collage. That's why I had the black construction paper, but it didn't fit. So I'm gonna add it here. Now I'm going to add the Barbie pictures like this. If it has a lot of glue, you're gonna have to use another paper, because glue can destroy your work. This is actually a little pamphlet that the Barbie came with. I don't know if you can see how dirty this is, and it's just because I was using it with the glue stick. Okay. But it's already dry, that's why I'm actually that's why I'm actually gluing the paper up. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. Oh, another thing that I hate when I'm working on collages is these rigid straight lines. Because for me, a collage has flow, like it's organic, it has a lot of movement. Unless it's something like this, but I try to cover it. How do I do it? I just put something on top. Try to cover those sections that are straight, those straight lines. Even when I do a digital one, I always do the same thing. I tell the kids, make sure that you put something on top of it. Okay, then I need the Barbie. And I didn't want to throw this one away, so I'm just gonna glue it like that. All the Barbies that I used to have when I was a child, now they sell them so expensive on eBay. They're like $300. There was this one that I loved that had a peach dress. She's like $300 because she's considered like vintage. That's when you know you're old, guys, when your toys are considered vintage. Uh-oh, I need to move just a little bit. We're in the middle. Okay. And then I just have a couple of more things. Actually, I think I have like 2 more things. I have this that I didn't want to throw away, so I'm going to put one there and one there. I've used 4 glue sticks, or 5, with all of this, with both portfolios. Make sure everything is glued down. Sometimes if the paper is thicker, you're gonna have to press harder and keep it there for a while. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there. If I look at my picture that I took yesterday, it kind of looks the same. It's not gonna look exactly the same because if you don't glue it down, things move. Like I had to improvise in the last one because I guess I glued it wrong. I glued one side onto one side more than the other, but I'm going to look through everything to see that it's right. I always make sure I go back. Remember, I've always told you guys it's in the little details. So now it's time for me to look at the details and see, is this correct? Do I need to add anything more? Is there a section that I feel like needs a little bit more? Sometimes I add stuff. Like I found these leaves that are great in one of my boxes, and I want to glue them down with you can glue stuff like this with the same glue stick, but I just don't know exactly where to put it. So I'm gonna go in, make sure that I'm gonna also use the other side of the ribbon, which by the way I switched the colors because it didn't match. Remember, I already went over the ribbon part in the tutorial that shows you how to actually make the portfolio. So now if you look at both portfolios, you will see that who's gonna know that you used cardboard, that you used cereal box, right? Unless they open this up and they see. But and that's what I love about recycling things and making collages, because it looks fun, and it, I don't know, to me they look really interesting. I love to see a bunch of textures together and colors. But remember, the key to a collage is to get one layer down of something, whether, and it doesn't have to be the same thing, because if I would have used just this greenish bluish color, then it would look a little bit boring. And you don't have to cut everything. You could tear it. You can do different things. And remember, to me, collages are more organic. They kind of have a flow. They have movement. You could see a bunch of things, and it's okay if it has a bunch of things on it. And it's all about placement. Remember, we've talked about this a lot. Composition, the way you place things, the way you arrange. I would definitely get all my things out and maybe make an example. If I don't like it, I move things around. I don't do it right away. I always, when I'm doing this, I'll think, oh, I want this here. No, I don't. I want it here. And I'm always making sure that I cut things right, because it's very important to cut things. You just leave, like, if you cut a piece of paper like this one that I got from a magazine and I just glue it, this looks really messy. So I would go around and kind of work with whatever the word that I have in the shape, just to make it look better. And maybe see it looks so much better when you add it to a background. Remember, we talked about that with the collage. It makes it stand out. It brings out the word, because there's so many things in the background that you can see create, because it has that black border. Okay, so when you are doing this, make sure you pay attention to the way you cut things, that it's not just randomly cut, that you actually are leaving a little border, or you're cutting around, you're being neat. And then think about placement, think about symmetry. If I do something to one side, I'm going to try to do, it doesn't necessarily need to be the same thing, but it has to have almost the same amount of pictures or whatever you're going to put. And then work with whatever you have, magazines. I have in the assignment, I'm actually going to put 2 separate list of things that you could use to kind of generate ideas, because like I've said in the past, it's very important to see examples of things. That's the only way that you are able to learn to be creative and learn to see things differently, because we're kind of stuck with the same thing. And art is incredible, because you can do so many things and you can save stuff. And who would have ever known that I was gonna save this Barbie and the Barbie box and then use it in my collage. And so if you like collaging, after this, start keeping all the things that you get when you go to concerts, or if you could even put pictures, if you have pictures. And it's about you, it's about all the things that you like. Just remember, collage is about composition, the way you arrange things, making sure that you have a surface that you can work with. And then it's also about the way you actually work, like the quality of work that you produce, because it has to be neat. It has to be cut and glued correctly, otherwise it looks like a mess. Okay, so I might do one more video where I show you the little things that I fix before I say that it's finished and I need to add the ribbon on the other side. And remember, this collage, this portfolio, you put your work inside, and then the other portfolio that I worked on, that's the one that has the flaps. It's a little bit different. I like both of them, but they're both so different. Okay, remember this. So whichever one you decide to do, or the other example, see how much different it looks from the beginning. This is gonna make your work look so much better. So I will fix the little mistakes, fix the little things that I still need to glue, and then I will take a picture and add it to the assignment so you guys can see it. I'm hoping that these videos will help you. There will be 6 videos up for each section. You can watch as many as you want. You can see whichever ones help you and give you inspiration to finish your work.